Welcome to this high-level demo of the Mammoth Cyber Enterprise browser, the secure Chromium-based solution that empowers your team with zero-trust access, robust data protection, and seamless productivity. Today, we'll walk through the user and admin experiences, highlighting how Mammoth transforms secure remote work without compromising on ease or efficiency.
And I'd like to show you kind of the end user experience first, then I'll show you the admin portal with kind of, just for starters, we'll come back to some of this in another example, but let's keep the current kind of use case as far as BYOD and contractor in mind here. So yeah, this is the enterprise browser, totally customizable with branding and even the splash page. I would start here by, of course, for unmanaged, I can download the browser from the Mammoth site. You could host the executable and have folks download it. They just download it, install it just like a regular browser. And then they have a couple levels of authentication and device verification, so that I would authenticate either via IDP or even local authentication if it's kind of for a short-term type of a contractor situation. I can go through device posture and check out and ensure that at least that device that they're bringing has a minimum level of security and OS levels and security patches, etc. And I can even do time-based access too. Maybe a certain group of people should only be working on certain applications on certain days of the week or certain times. I can do that too, as well as geo-based. At any rate, when I first open a tab in the browser, once I go through that authentication, I see a pretty simple layout here. As you can tell, it looks really just like regular Chrome, all kind of standard menu items. You've got bookmarks across the top. Again, it can be branded. What's really key here, though, is that I have access to apps that I've been provided in my group or to do my job. And it could be internal apps and private apps. It could be SaaS apps. It could be other long tail apps that are not part of maybe a SaaS environment. We'll get to that later. But in any case here, you can see across the top, I've got my apps. Could be 2, it could be 20, it could be 100. I've got also access to maybe there's servers via SSH or RDP here. And then also, if I want to bring over apps from, say, Azure or from Okta or from OneLogin, very simple to do that as well, as you can see. And then when I open an app like one of those in Mammoth, I now have control over what happens in those apps. Maybe I don't want to allow downloads from OneDrive when I'm using BYO. And I can restrict also apps to Mammoth versus other browsers as well. All right. So just really quickly then, if I go to my app launcher and say I want to access internal Elasticsearch, I hit a tile, and I'm really just off to the races. Don't have to worry about starting up VPN clients or doing any sort of weird reverse proxies or anything like that. I can simply go there. I'm browsing in Elastic now. I can do queries, etc. People that are familiar with this, but very simple to do that. And then, say I wanted to check out, say, SSH. I wanted to log into a server via SSH. This uses a cert login. Just a click. We support both SSH within a browser window. You can actually use native clients as well. And, here I am. So very simple to quickly do that. One last thing now that I wanted to show you. Let me just switch it off to the admin interface here. So you can access the admin interface from any browser. It doesn't have to be through the Mammoth browser, although you certainly could. The way it's laid out, you got kind of the major features along the left here: defining applications, bringing in users and groups and device information, and then creating policies. Who has access to what? Just like Peter was mentioning, who has access to what and when, and what are the actions and the policy they can do there on those apps. So I just wanted to show you, if I go into just kind of, as we were talking about on the this use case, if I go into policies and I go into conditional access and I show my device posture profiles, here's where, for instance, I set up that minimum device posture that if I'm bringing BYOD, I probably want to enforce. And also things like time-based access. So here I have a policy where I have a time schedule 8 to 5 on weekdays is allowed. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to use those apps. Last, the visibility that we provide is really bar none. So especially when it's a contractor type of a use case and you want full visibility, maybe even audit or compliance ability, you can see kind of everything that I've done. I've just opened those SSH, that session, that's that just right there. If I've interacted with other apps. And then finally, there is the ability to record sessions. And you can see if I could find one, but there's some sessions that have been recorded here, whether it's SSH or the entire web session.
Ready to transform your enterprise browsing with Mammoth Cyber? Contact us for a tailored use case discussion or an in-depth demo. Visit mammothcyber.com or email info@mammothcyber.com. Let's browse securely with AI.